In this video we are going to sculpt a nose. So a female nose, we are going to learn how a female nose is different than a male nose. So here I'm using Zbrush 2020. You can use any version of the Zbrush, so it's not a Zbrush version specific, so you can use any version. But I'm using Zbrush 2020. I'm going to use my light box and this model ships with Zbrush. It's a by default model. You can use it just to practice. I'm going to double click on it. It's going to open that project. Now you can see it already has a nose, so I'm going to geometry here and then dynamics it so that we can remove that nose. So turn on dynamics and I'm going to smooth holding shift key and then smooth this nose. So let's keep smoothing it so that it kind of flatten that area, and then once I reach that point I can hold control and drag outside to regenerate the polygons, which will kind of close those holes. I can see those holes are gone. So basically now it kind of flat area. Now we can practice the nodes. So when you are sculpting nodes, we need to divide it in few parts. So basically nodes has few parts. Here you can see if I go to this area, now you can see this part of this area is called root, and then this part is called the bridge, and then the tip, and then this wings of the nose, and obviously the nostrils, and the there's a shape called septum. So those kind of, there are kind of 1 2 3 4 5 parts there. So I'm going to get those. Here you can see I have some brushes, so you can bring those brushes here from this palette by going to this preference and enabling this. If you go to this config and enable this customize, and then you can hold Control Alt and drag any brushes from this top area. So if you want a particular brush, then you need to bring that to the top area first by just, let's say I want this trim dynamic, so I need to bring that to here. So let's click on it. Once that comes to this area, let's switch to a different brush, hold Control Alt, and then I can just drag it. Let me drag it from here. Hold the Control Alt and drag it to this area. So you can do this, and I have also brought my light here from this light area. You can do the same thing. I'm going to, once you are done with it, then you can turn off this enable customize. Okay, now I'm going to use clay buildup, or you can use any brush just to give those volumes and to create the overall shape. Okay, basically when you create a female nose, it tends to be a little bit smaller than a male nose. So male has a little bit bigger nose, and female most of the time has a little bit smaller nose. Exception is always there, but I'm talking about the usual thing. So you can see hold Control and drag outside to recreate. So this is the way we work with dynamics. You do something and you pull something, and then you don't get even polygons there, so you can hold Control and drag to get even polygons. So now you can see I just drag it and then I can smooth it. So you can hold shift and smooth, but sometimes it won't give you a particular smooth because of these loops or because of this topology here. So you can hold shift and smooth and then release the shift key while you are keep smoothing it. So this is another it's a kind of intense smooth option. Okay, then now I'm going to talk about few basic structure of the nose. So here I'm going to turn off the perspectivity. So here if you go to the side view and you are creating a female nose, this shape is very important here. So this shape can be something like this for a female nose, a straight nose. Now this bridge area is straight, or you can have a little bit carved in shape like this. But if you create a carved out shape, a convex shape, that is going to look like a male nose. If you do something like this, that is going to look like a male nose. Okay, so make sure you have a straight nose here. Okay, so that is one thing. And then this angle is very important. This base of the nose to the tip, having this angle for a female girl is very important. So male tends to have more bigger angles like this, maybe 90-degree angle, but females tends to have a little bit angle. And child has this kind of angle. If you look at child nose, they have this carved in shape, concave shape, this shape, and then they have a very angle. So here, so that will look like a child nose. And if you give these two feature to a nose, that nose will look like a cute and child nose. Okay, something like this. So having a little bit angle is important here, so make sure we have this angle. So these basic things are important. Now from the front view, we need to have this angle. So now you can see, I can use my trim dynamic. I can just trim this side and have this kind of angle. If I see that the base is here this wide, and then the top part of the nose is this wide, that means we have this kind of angle. And you can see this angle bigger in childs, and as we grow and as we become adult, this angle tends to be a little bit less. And you can see now we have this kind of angle. Okay, make sure we have this. And now I'm going to give some side wings to the nose. Let's give some side wings. So here I'm using clay tubes. Let's decrease the intensity. So it's always a good thing with working with low intensity. You can slowly, you will feel more control. Now you can see the overall nose needs to be small, and here this area is the tip of the nose. I'm going to give some volume here. You can see I'm giving some volume to the side as well, something like this. Okay, so now I'm going to create those nostrils. So I'm going to use clay buildup. Obviously I don't have much resolution to work with, so I'm going to hold Control and drag to recreate it. Then let's smooth. Okay, something like this. Okay, once we got these things, I'm going to get this nostrils a little bit defined, and then here you can see this septum is going to go inside like this. So this should go inside like this, and then this side wings needs to go inside like this. Okay, obviously I'm going to add some more polygons. So now I'm working with dynamics, so I'm going to increase this resolution. So we are not working with division labels here, so don't come here and divide it. So just come and increase the resolution, and then hold Control and drag to recreate that resolution here. You can see we have a little bit more polygons to work with, and I'm going to smooth. Whenever you do this stuff, make sure this the overall proportion and the features are correct. The overall proportion and the forms are correct before you jump into the detail level. So now I'm looking at this profiles. Now with this Zbrush 2020 you have this option to check the silhouette. You can just drag it with your left mouse or with your stylus, and you can see the silhouette here. So now I'm not happy with this tip of the nose, so I'm going to correct it. Let's pull it. So here you can see there needs to be a little bit deep. So this is the tip of the nose, and then here we see a little bit deep like this. So there needs to be a little bit deep. It needs to be subtle, but it should be there. So I'm going to have this. Now you can see that from the silhouette window we have this silhouette here, and we have this angle as well, which makes it more look like a female nose than a male nose. If you don't have that angle, then it looks like a male nose, and if you put this bony landmark there, it will look like a male nose. You can see it already looked like a male nose. Okay, these things are important here. Let me decrease the size of that, and here we are going to see some anatomy forms. So I'm going to draw a few forms here. So you can imagine the bone till here, that is the bone, and then it's totally catalyzed. So here we can see some forms like this. That center cartilage is kind of divided like this, and it's obviously on that side as well. So you get a partition from this center area like this, and then this is a muscle, so you get a kind of deep line here like this, and then this nostril, this needs to go in something like this. So we are going to do those stuff. So first thing, I'm going to use damp standard and then draw that shape here. So let's use a little bit low intensity and just put this like this. Obviously you can look at reference images. I'm working from my memory here, so I practiced this a little bit, so I know these things. So here you can see I'm creating that shape here, and we can just add that shape, that partition line like this. Obviously we are going to smooth all this stuff. You're never going to see a fine and loose like this, so I'm going to smooth it. So hold shift and I'm decreasing the smooth intensity, the intensity of the smooth brush, otherwise it will smooth out everything and will lose the details as well. So I don't want that. I want to have a little bit form. I don't want those clear lines, but I want those forms so that there will be a little bit shading. I can see that shading defines that shape there. Okay, this is a very important part here. Now I'm going to do one more thing. From this side angle, always check this nostril position. Beginners tend to position like this. Now you can see this part and this part is never in a straight line, so it needs to be go in somewhere like this. So beginners tend to do this mistake. They put the nostril end line too far forward, so it needs to be come this direction. So let's move this so that the nose have some kind of depth to it. There's a good amount of depth, so it's kind of sticking out of the face. Okay, that's good. I'm going to define this nose in wings line. So let's define this line. Basically we're going to keep defining it as I increase my resolution. I'm going to keep in kind of defining this thing. Okay, so now that part is looking good. So here I'm going to work inside this area. So let's use the clay Buildup, push this inside part a bit. Again, people tend to tend to kind of avoid or don't spend a little bit don't spend much time in this area. So make sure you spend some time on this area as well. And here you can see this part, as I said earlier, this part needs to go in like this. I'm going to get that. Obviously we don't have much polygons here, so I'm going to increase it in a minute. And here I'm going to, before I increase it, I'm going to adjust the overall shape. Here I'm going to change this light direction. As you can see, if I change my light direction, you can do this here as well. If I change my light direction, it doesn't affect here because of this material. This material doesn't support this matte cap gray material. This material doesn't support lighting, so I'm going to use this basic material. And now you can see it supports lighting. You can change the light and see it from different lighting condition. I'm going to adjust this shape so that I get this kind of shape here. And from this side view, I can just adjust. Now you can see it looks good. Here I'm going to increase the resolution. Let's increase it to maybe 500 or 600 maybe. Hold control and drag outside. Okay, let it recreate those polygons. Now you can see, even though it looks like the same, but you can turn on this polyframe and you can see we have more polygons. I'm going to smooth everything. Okay, I'm not focusing all these areas. And here I'm going to define that shape here. From this front view, from this below angle, you can see from this angle, make sure the nose shape is wrapping around this shape, the mouth area. You can see the nose never be like this. That should be that shape, so it should be wrapping around. Okay, I'm going to move these nostrils to somewhere here, something like this. Okay, that's great. And I'm going to define these nostrils here, the inside part. So let's use the damp standard, and we need to define this tube like shape. It needs to be defined. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So that needs to be defined here, going in. And let's use clay buildup with a lower intensity. This needs to go in. We can just do something like this, just enhance this area and then smooth. Okay, from this bottom angle you can see the shape of the nose. That's great. And then here I'm going to define this area. So this is going this way. So from the side view you can see it. So you can see this thing going inside like that. And I'm going to use damp standard to refine this area of the nose. And obviously we can put this shape here. And I can see from the side view you can see that shape there. That is important shape. And now I'm happy with the overall shape of the nose. Now I'm going to define it a little bit and put some details here. You can see I'm going to use my standard brush with a little bit low intensity, maybe 15, 16. Here I'm going to using Alt and create a patch like this. So this area you can see this kind of patch. Okay, now you can see this patch here and a patch here. If you see some nose, you can find those stuff here. I'm going to maybe show you few image here. You can see this kind of patch here, this patch here. That's a flat shape of the nose there. You can see this area. So once you have this once you have a basic nose, then you can look at your reference image, and because every nose is different, that every nose is unique to that particular person, so you can look at that person. And if you are creating a portrait, then you can look at that person and try to match the nose characteristic with that once you get this basic nose. But if you are creating a model like that, if it's not a portrait, then you can create any kind of nose. So let's smooth it. So that's a small detail there, and make sure you have this line as well. So he defines that shape, that that catalyst shape there, something like that. So make sure you refine that, and then you can see the nose is kind of wide here. This part is big, and then it's kind of getting narrowed here, and then it's going a little bit like this and then like this. So because there is the bone there, that part can be a little bit wide like this. So we can do that. You can check it. Now I think that is looking nice, so I'm not going to do anything. Let's use move. Okay, that looks good. Obviously we can define it using pinch brush. We can define these shapes, or maybe you can also use stamp standard to define these things. Okay, here in this area you can see if I check her nose from a lower angle, you can see this form. This is going to the nose, inside the nose. Maybe you can do that. Again, these are some things, it's there for everybody, but again this can be very subtle for somebody, and you need to look at that particular reference image for this kind of things. Now this shape is going inside the nose like this, and we can smooth it, something like this, that shape, and then that shape creates this shape. If I smooth it, maybe using stamp standard, the nose is kind of giving this shape here, a little bit shading like this. Okay, so these are something you need to look for when you are creating a female nose. Point one thing is this angle and this angle. Again, make sure you have a straight angle or a concave angle. Concave is when the border is inside towards the body, so it's maybe it's too much. I'm just kind of explaining it. So have a straight nose or a little bit concave nose. Okay, and don't do this area like this, and it will look like a male nose then. And then have a little bit angle here. If you want to create a male nose, then just have more right angle like this, and then have this nose, this joint area a little bit kind of exaggerated like this, and you will get a kind of male nose, and overall the nose would be a little bit bigger than female. So I hope you have learned something from this video. So I'm going to come with a new video, and then we're going to work with other features of the face. So if you have not subscribed my channel yet, then please subscribe so that you get notified when I upload a new video, and I'll see you in a new video. Bye.